Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing today? You know what day it is. Friday, baby, right? It's Friday. Is it Friday? I think it's Friday. I'm pretty sure it's Friday. And you know what we said, Fridays, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Friday Q&A. And we are answering your questions live, which is actually a lot harder to do than it might look like or seem like, but I make it look so darn easy, don't I? It's actually not true. See, what happens is when you get into a pinch, you don't know what to say, you make fun of the person asking the question. So if you have any questions that I don't know the answer to, I'm just going to ridicule you until you disappear, which isn't true, although I do kind of enjoy ridiculing online trolls, as you guys can see if you peruse our comment section. Not ridicule. I actually try and do it in a manner that's fun and it's friendly and it's PG-13, and I try not to stoop to their level. What we try and do is point to flaws in their rationale or their whole background. Now, I'm not seeing any comments popping through. Are you guys able to type in your comments? If you could just, if you don't have any questions, that's fine. But usually by now we have a bunch of comments, and I see that there's a good number of people in the room. So type a comment and let's see if anything pops up. And if not, what we're going to have to do is end the stream and then restart again. Live chat messages are visible. Oh, there we go. There we go. That was weird. It was just that was my fault. I apologize, guys. Ben Pugh. Hello, Ben. What's up? Jason Montoya. Mike is live. Just got a black pack in the mail. I'm in love. How awesome is the black pack, Jason? What? It's bad. See, I'm still here. The black pack. Hot, cold one. This one has been around the world with me many, 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 many times. Many times. The black pack. I call this right here the contraband pouch, because it just kind of hides in there. It's a good place to put the things that you don't want people to know what's actually in there. Mr. TSA agent. Speaking of TSA, this is completely TSA compliant. You don't have to take your laptop out of the bag. You just unzip. You put it on the little conveyor, and you're good. You don't have to put it in the dirty, germy TSA buckets. What else? I had this come into a commercial for the black pack. I just happen to have it right here in front of me. What about this? For you travelers, right? You just slide it on your little suitcase, your wheel, or zip, zip, zip through the airport. This is the black pack, ladies and gentlemen. Chest harness. Clips across right here. These adjust up and down. Zipper. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. The black pack. I went through 21 different backpacks in my years of traveling the world, doing what I do, living on planes, trains, automobiles, in hostels and hotel rooms and everything in between. To be a professional in whatever job role that you have, we're all professionals. So we need our tech, we need our laptops and our iPads and our hard drives and our cords and our portfolios and our files and our folders and our pens and our copybooks and all that other stuff. Completely situated. It fits a 13-inch MacBook Pro plus an 11-inch MacBook Air plus a full size and a regular size, current size iPad. Little pockets for the phones and things. Why am I still talking about the black pack? The most important thing is the food storage. The bottom. Breaking this place, people. This right here unzips. Hot cold package, and it comes with 4 pop top, which is secure top Tupperwares, Dolce branded. I'm literally jacking this place up for you guys. So there you go. I don't leave without it because I have all my stuff, everything I need. What's up, Dolce? Just slammed a breakfast bowl for lunch. Hell yeah, Zach, getting it in. Naeem, How to get veins to show. Just kind of like shaking back there, shaking back there, shaking back there. How do you get veins to show? You got to be lean enough. Number one, let me move up. I feel like I'm so far away from you guys. You have to be lean. If you're not lean enough, if you don't have low enough levels of body fat, the veins aren't really going to show. Anyway, maybe some of you genetically, you're predispositioned to have some sort of visible vascularity. Most people aren't. If you have a lot of body fat in the way, you're not going to see the veins properly, certainly not routinely. It's going to be very rare, few and far between. So we have to get lean. And typically, guys, you have to get down into the middle teens, the lower middle teens, in order to start seeing vascularity. 14%, 12%, 10%. Once you're down there, you're going to see veins all the time. Then you can bring your veins out if you're doing some sort of aesthetic bodybuilding competition. But, super showy veins, that's not a very good look for regular day-to-day life. Chicks don't dig that. Little vein running down your bicep, maybe a little bit in your lower abdominals. Chicks do dig that, but they don't dig that freaky vascularity, spiderweb veins running through your quads and all along your lats and whatnot. Nav Matt, hey Mike, you still train fast? It really depends on the day, depends upon the goal, depends what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm at a stage as an advanced trainee/trainer because I wear both hats. I play quite a bit, and I play usually what I typically do is I'm on the tip of the spear in that I'm testing protocols for you guys that we can then turn into content, or typically I do it to myself, then I spread it to a larger group of individuals, an in-house group of individuals, then I spread it to a larger group, then I start to message it to our longer term clients, and then it slowly makes its way down to the general population as our talking points or our suggested best practices. I do a lot of that. So I do a lot of, fasted training and fed training and early morning training and late night training and high intensity and low intensity and high rep and low rep and, percentages of 1RMs and split sets and supersets and cluster sets and, all these different things and simple carbs and complex carbs and high protein and low protein and high fat and moderate fat. And I do all that stuff. And I say that because you asked, am I still training fasted? Right now, no. Right now, I'm not training fasted. I typically train around 11 a.m. right now, and that's earlier than I normally do. Typically, I had been training between 3 to 5 p.m., but now I'm training at 11 p.m. So I'm training with one meal and about 3 cups of coffee, 2 cups of coffee, 1 cup of black or green tea. And I'm doing more cardiovascular activity, but more of a circuit style and I'm toying with a few things with cardiovascular activity in short little spurts. 10-minute spurt before you start your warm-ups and your resistance training for the day, and then a 5 to 10 minute spurt immediately thereafter. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to improve performance. I call it on the floor performance in whatever modality you're interested in, mixed martial arts or weightlifting or crossfitting or whatever it is. So trying to move the bar weight, let's say, higher, but getting leaner. And that's the focus that I'm on right now. How scraped out can I get myself while hitting PRs on the floor? And that's something I'll hopefully be bringing to you guys before like the summer season kicks out. Logan, anytime I see Dolce is live, I click. Right on, Logan. Good to see you. Shane, what's up, coach? Aloha from Hawaii. Question: after 3 weeks of shredded, what do you suggest I do? I suggest you run a round 2. This is what a lot of people do. They go through 3 weeks of shredded. They go day 1 through day 21. They hit day 21 and then go right back to day 1. That's an automatic refeed. And here's 2 ways that you can do it. You go back to day 1. You follow exactly what you followed on day 1. This is a refeed / reverse dieting concept. Because 3 weeks of shredded, it slowly dips down. Total calories, eventually they do dip, though we have high and low days throughout the week. So even in the final week, you'll have higher total caloric intake days than in the first week. But on average, spread out through the week, it's a lower total caloric intake week. You get ripped. you get lean. You get about as lean and dry and fit as you can in 21 days, which is pretty dramatic for a lot of people. 15 to 21, 25 pounds wouldn't be uncommon. Individual results may vary. You might have more to lose. You might have less to lose. But that being said, you see some pretty spectacular results in those 21 days. And then some people, they hit their goal, they weigh in, they have the fight, they win the fight, they do the bikini beach party, or they have a photo shoot, or they have the wedding, or whatever their deal is, the back to you school reunion or whatever. They hit it, and then they have Sunday, they kind of, cheat and go crazy and celebrate, and then Monday they kind of go back to their normal life. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just go back to day 1 of 3 weeks to shredded, which the total calories for the week bump up dramatically. What you will see, you've done all that work to get as lean as possible in 21 days. Well, now we can refeed the body. And by refeeding the body, the same basic food, so it's a reverse diet concept. We're not negatively disrupting digestion. We're actually improving because we're eating the same foods the body is used to eating and digesting and absorbing, and have worked so well to get you lean and strong and fit and athletic and light in that 21 periods. But we refeed you. As your body shrink down, we throw more of the same amazing foods back into you, and everything grows. And that's the time to really use that slingshot effect and hammer the gym and get after it. And here's what some people do. Some people will then go day 1 through day 21 a second time. We'll do 42 days of 3 weeks of shredded, then 63 days of 3 weeks of shredded. And they'll go day 1 through day 21. We call it round 1, round 2, round 3. We've had people do that for almost entire years. As far as I'm aware, they would just keep going through. I think 11 months was the last time I spoke with someone who was crushing their personal results. You don't have to do it that much. Other people, this is the second way. You go day 1 to day 21. You go back to day 1, then you maintain day 1, week 1 for 3 weeks. You maintain that total calorie level. This is recomposition. We're recompositioning the body. Now we're adding lean muscle tissue because we're hitting a higher total caloric surplus than we had previously. We're being much more regimented with our training, our strength training. You already brought your body weight down, let's say 20 pounds in 3 weeks period of time. So this does create a pretty dramatic caloric surplus from who you were when you started on day 1 of round 1. Now we're day 1 of round 2, 22 days into it. We hit that, then we keep that. Day 1 through 7 repeated 3 times while hammering the gym. Many people typically look absolutely incredible because they've gotten their body smaller, lighter, leaner, more scraped out, more sculpted, reducing total body water and inflammation. Then they fill the muscles back out. They hammer it in the gym. They continue to grow and round and shape and sculpt the musculature while having the low body fat they achieved in week 1, on day 21, round 1, eating the same foods that their digestive system is used to and enjoys and thrives with consumption, and everything just packs out. We say stuffing the shirt. I want you to get you leaner. I want you to grow inside your skin. I want you to grow with lean muscle tissue. I don't want you to just get lighter inside your skin because now you're wearing a baggy skin shirt, right? Think about it like that. And that's kind of a gross way to look at it, but that's true. You lose total body water, you lose body fat, you lose muscle tissue, and you lost weight. Yay, lost weight, but you still have that kind of loose and saggy skin. So let's increase body mass, functional body mass inside of the skin shirt. That would be a long route to explain what I think you should do after the first round of 3 weeks of shredded. Kyle, what's up, Kyle? Seth, what's up, my man? Zach C. Where'd that go? Just swung by me. Lots of questions. Wow, lots of questions already. Zach C., what's your thoughts on the NSA wanting to fine fighters for trash talk and Khabib's $500,000 fine? I look at it 2 ways. Trash talk sells fights, but at the same time, these athletes are requesting to be sanctioned by a commission. And in order to be sanctioned, there's certainly rules of conduct. The UFC has rules of conduct to be able to participate and represent the UFC. State and athletic commissions can, and I have to see more of the language, but from an intellectually perspective, I'm not immediately against the concept of holding professional athletes to a higher standard. Just as the athlete can't take performance-enhancing drugs as overseen by the athletic commission, The athlete shouldn't be able to use certain language or hate speech. You can't, you don't want to see fighter A pointing across the ring and shouting negative, nasty, compromising terms at fighter B's wife or daughter or child or mother. Now, what he's saying, like, hey, your wife, wants a real man. Nah, I'm not. Maybe that's not something I think the athletic commission should say. Or your wife looks like a effing this and that and the other thing, and I'm gonna do this, that, and the other thing to her, and that's a different line. I'm just kind of having more of a robust, open conversation with you guys. I think something is there. Something should be there because they're receiving a license to compete in an organized, overseen athletic competition, representing that commission. Now, I'm not a fan, by and large, of the commissions. I'm probably one of the most outspoken industry insiders on the flaws of the commission. But at the same time, there's certain things that should be looked at. Now, I don't know what those are sitting here, but all I'm saying, and I'll wrap this up, is I'm open to the deeper conversation of what the commission proposes. But there, it has to, the lines have to be very clear. You can't just give it, let them subjectively approve. I don't know if that made any sense, actually. John Lehman, what's up, Dolce? I look forward to these Q&As all week. John, I appreciate that. Every Mondays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is what we do. We hop on, we go live. We talk. We answer questions. We talk MMA, fitness, fat loss, motivation, finance, business, dad stuff, married husband with 2 young daughters, toddlers. So I can talk about that stuff too. Mamad, coach, why don't you invite the training lab guys, those who are working with Helen and David Taylor and TJ? I'm interested to hear them on the podcast. I have. I've reached out to Sam Calavita multiple times via Instagram. I don't know how else to get in touch with him. I've tried it multiple times, private DMs on his Insta account, and then publicly, trying to get his attention, or someone out there. I don't know why they're not getting back in touch with me. Why not? Because I wanted to even talk to him before the fight, to talk about, like, man, this is awesome. It's amazing. Like, what are you doing with TJ? Let's wrap it up. Let's hear it. I think we get along. I think we like each other. So I'm sure it's just some sort of oversight. If you guys know Sam, let him know. Definitely want to shop talk and see what he's up to out there. Jason, 3 weeks to shred is going awesomely, but I had a quick question. Next week, my first meal is going to be a lunch egg scramble, but I train jits in the morning. Should I train fasted or split lunch into 2 smaller meals? What time do you train? Can you have that breakfast 90 minutes beforehand? If so, I would do that. But it sounds like you're in the last week of 3 weeks to shred if you're having those eggs for the breakfast. Timing wise, if you can get up 90 minutes beforehand, that would be ideal. Hey, Mike, hope you're good. Hawk, I'm great. Thank you. Mama, coach, can you make a video for neck strength? Yes. And I know a lot of you guys have been asking about a neck training video. I'll do that for you. And while you're all sitting here, I see no thumbs up. No thumbs up. No thumbs up. No thumbs up. Give a thumbs up if you're here and you appreciate the time and conversation that we're having. Laredo, what do you think about the kettlebell only workout program? I like kettlebells. I have tons of kettlebells, a few dozen kettlebells, but it's limited, just like a barbell only program is limited, just like a bodyweight only program is limited. It's limited. Why would you limit yourself? Why would you limit the stimulation? Coach, give us some time management tips. Write your goals down for the day so you have a clear path of what needs to be accomplished. Write 5 goals down for your day every single day. When you wake up, write 5 goals down for yourself so you know exactly what you have to get done throughout your day. You can start to create a plan that way, and also do what you have to do when you're supposed to do it, which is right now. If it pops in your mind, do it, get it done. Go back and listen to the Mike Dolce Show podcast on iTunes. I did an episode on just this, exactly this. It's called Small Victories Add Up. And it talks about the small things in our day have a massive, massive impact on our life, usually from a negative productivity perspective. I go through my own personal story and day of what I've been able to do to become more time efficient and hopefully how it can help you guys. So that's the Mike Dolce Show podcast on iTunes. Check that out. Seth, they really dig that lower abdominal V2, trying to work on that. That's right. What's a good treadmill brand that I can buy to do cardio? I live in Florida. It's cold outside. Yeah, there's a bunch. I've had some the crappity crap treadmills, and I've had some pretty darn expensive ones. Um, I don't have a problem with either. And I'd probably, for personal use, I'd probably get more of the lower end, couple $100, Pro Form Life Fitness that you can get like on a Craigslist or Walmart, Target. I've gotten some from like Sports Authority back in the early days. Unless you're running a commercial facility, you don't need to get the high end stuff, in my opinion. Do we still have it? Yeah, we have I got like one of the most used treadmills I've ever had is still in my garage right now at home. And I think it cost us like $300, less than $300 from Sports Authority. And it's like, it has to be going at least a mile an hour in order for the tread to have enough pull to carry me. Because if it's not, it just like kind of stays stuck at like half a mile an hour. But it's great. It's perfect. It's got everything. It does everything it's supposed to without breaking the bank. Take the extra money, the extra $500,000 or so. And in my opinion, if I were you, I would take that money. I would invest that into a Roth IRA. That's what I would do. That's what I would personally do. Do you know TJ's S&C Coach podcast? I'm trying. I actually reached out to another part, actually to Henry's side, because I want to get Henry's side on also. I want to talk about, just because I think Henry looked great too in that fight. Probably the best physicality I've ever seen. Brandon, loved your bodyweight video. I'll implement them on my rest days. I'm wondering, I never used a belt, but would you think a lifting belt can be beneficial? It depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on the lift you're performing, your training for the day, your personal strengths and weaknesses. I'm not a fan of belt lifting anymore, although I was for years and years, maybe a decade straight. I feel stronger, more functionally strong without a belt. I typically train raw, which is no wraps, no straps, no belts, no sleeves, most times, not even shoes. I'll just have a pair of socks on. Frank Nash is a professional trainer with the best in their fields. Can you notice a performance advantage for those on TRT? If so, what may be observable? I don't notice a difference with athletes amongst each other, those who are on a TRT, let's say, and those who are not on a TRT. I don't see any discernible difference, because the TRT athletes perform better or worse in certain areas of athleticism than non-TRT, non-HRT prescribed clients. What does that mean? That means I could have a 45-year-old dude, and I do have these types of people that we work with, who's never taken any sort of HRT, TRT, performance enhancing drug or anything, just probably lives a really good, healthy, consistent life. And now we're working with them because they got some sort of goal coming up, doing like a half marathon or wanted to like get down to 8% body fat, which is a big one for that crew, kind of the 35 to 55-year-old crew, wants to hit those single digit body fats. And we deal with a lot of individuals like that. They crush it. Or we'll get the, let's say, late 30s, someone who needs legally prescribed and whatnot at HRT or TRT, and they're on that. Well, that doesn't mean they're going to come in here and outlift, outrun, outlean the 45-year-old consistent person at all. What it typically means is that 35-year-old person is going to come in here and they're going to start to recover better, which is going to help them train a little harder, and it's going to allow them to move a little bit more weights for more reps in less time. And you're going to see the physical adaptations of that. Those physical adaptations are enhanced outside of their normal dosed state. You'll see that, and there will be a rather marked improvement. Not so much dramatic if they're on a true TRT dose. If they're on the supra physiological TRT doses, well, then they're juicing, and that doesn't matter. We're talking about straight TRT, HRT here. So that individual see a difference as compared to their old version, like draw a line in the sand, what they were before, what they were after. But it won't be a big difference between other trainees inside the facility. I hope that helps. Tour, legendary Dolce. What books have been most impactful for you? Not so much self-help, but philosophical or nonfiction or even fiction. I read a lot of Nietzsche in my early days, in my early 20s. Not that I completely identify as a nihilist, but at the same time, there's a lot of wisdom, I think, inherent in his words and writing. And I also felt very excluded at that age and stage of life because of my harsh, upbringing. I had to, walk a very long, arduous, lonely road, through my childhood and into early adulthood. Lots of bleak, negative outlooks, floating around me. So I think that was formative in much of me and my personality and worldview, but in a very positive manner, a very positive approach to the world. So that you said formative, and so I would say that. And then The Richest Man in Babylon, I think that's a book that every human must read, every American must read, but every human would get tremendous impact from The Richest Man in Babylon, written by George Glasson. I read it twice per year, year after year. It's has a dramatic impact on your approach to your finances and the way that you live your life in a proper, appropriate manner. Has large carryover to the rest of your habits and much wisdom in there. But that's something that was formative to me also. Eon, you probably sick of hearing this, but I've been trying to drop weight and it seems like it's taking forever. I think I need to up my cardio. I don't want to sacrifice strength training. Have you gotten your blood work done? How about that? How about that? Catch me at the phlebotomist. How about that? You get your blood work done? How do you know what's going on? What's going on with you? You get your blood work done, or you're just going to start changing your diet, taking supplements, changing your cardio, all that? You get your blood work done? Yeah, go get your blood work done. Let's see what's up. Let's see if everything's working properly. Things might not be working properly. And there's a bunch of things that could be off, just slightly off, just skewed. And you're probably saying, how's your research on citrulline going? It's going really well. Lots of positives I'm seeing from citrulline. We're not quite yet focused on all the negative or what possible negative outcome. We haven't gone down that rabbit hole just yet. We wanted an open mind, clean slate as we approach the experiment. But I'm getting very, very positive feedback right now. Elijah, best snack when you smoked a bit of the devil's lettuce. You mean romaine? Best snack. I like the frozen red grapes, frozen, get red grapes, take them home, wash them off, put them in a big old Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer, let them freeze. It becomes like frozen ice cream, like mochi. It's delicious. You could just sit there and pop them over and over and over. It's crunchy and it's sweet, but it's not hard like a rock. It's kind of still, a little soft in the middle. Salted cashews are great. I love salted cashews. You want that salty, crunchy? I'll go to salted cashews. I'll eat them one at a time, though. I won't bring a bag. I'll put some in like a teacup or something, half a teacup, and just sit there and watch a show or a movie. Those are good steps. Celery with peanut butter, kind of rubbed into it. A bunch of celery sticks. Again, salty, crunchy goes a long way. Dumb and easy. Happy Friday, Mike. Thanks for helping and sharing your knowledge with us. Absolutely. Lil Poteen, how important is exercise in weight loss as opposed to diet? Does exercise just speed up the process? Exercise is very important, but diet is most important. Exercise matters once diet is in place. Exercise matters much, much less if diet's not in place. Like far minority, single digit, dare I say, without having a true means to measure it. Nutrition is everything. Once your nutrition is placed, your exercise has a dramatic impact. If your nutrition is a mess, exercise has a minimal impact. That's the best way to say it. Shreyas, I feel low the entire day because I'm just trying to get over a hard time. So I end up working out for 2-3 hours after midnight. How do I get out of a cycle like that to make the following day productive? I wouldn't train that late at night. That's tough. That's tough. I try and get your training in earlier. Try and wake up early. I'd rather you go to bed 2 to 3 hours earlier, wake up 2 to 3 hours earlier, and then get your training in first thing in the morning. It's the same use of time. You're just flipping. I would much rather see you do that. That will help. And I don't know if you alluded to some sort of emotional downtime. You say to get over a hard time. I get that. We all get through that. What I find personally helpful is the goal setting, daily goal setting, which allows me to start building confidence in, these small little victories throughout the day. It helps keep me focused, gives me something to keep my mind focused on. But I do like the early training training earlier in the day, which has a very solid impact for many people on their emotional state and their outlook. To get that workout in when you're feeling good, the blood starts pumping. I think Dr. Andy Galpin just put out a study today on his Instagram page that reinforces in many ways what I'm saying. It could have something to do with the cognitive output. I don't know if that means productivity, but at the same time, there is a carryover to it. John, I find, oops, flew by. I'm going to try and answer these a little faster. Lots of questions here. Let's see how many I can get through. John, I find when I use a lifting belt, I can hit more reps for more weight while squatting. Is there a reason not to incorporate a belt? Well, it depends on the carryover of the lifting belt. Just lifting more weight doesn't mean it's better. Are you taxing more of your muscular system? Are you exciting more of your nervous system during this type of lifting with a belt? When I had a belt, I lift more weight by far when I wore a belt, but I was much less healthy. And I created a lot of injuries by training with those weights at that levels and using the different belts and the single ply polyester power suits and the I forget what they call them, like the deadlift suit, which is just kind of like underpants that goes up to your, it's like Spanx, a deadlift suit, all that stuff. We got lots of questions. Caster, coach, I had to give up the weed because it would make me eat sweet things like a suicidal diabetic in the middle of the night. Darn, since I gave it up, no more hunger pangs. Boom, there you go, Caster. Good for you. Whatever works, right? Whatever works. Lil Poutine, how much does the water play a big part in weight loss? Tremendous amount. I drink 2 gallons of water per day. It's right there. Blind me. Apparently, I'm too ugly to have a girlfriend. You and me both, my friend. What are you going to do? That's where confidence comes in. Just rock it. Just rock it, homie. Don't matter. It's what you think of yourself. That's what matters. Caleb, Mike, if I'm not doing a push-pull workout routine, push on Monday. If I'm push on Monday and Thursday, pull on Tuesday, Friday. When do I do my squats and deadlifts? Really depends. You can do like squat Thursday or squat Monday, deadlift Thursday. That works well for some people. Some will do like, 3 sets of 10 on a Monday of a squat and 10 sets of 3 on a Tuesday on a deadlift and reverse that. I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather squat once a week and deadlift once a week, spread through. And I'm not really going to go heavy on either. I'll probably do like a 4x5 at about 80% or so. Zach, I need a Dolce Diet old school sweatband. Can you make it happen? Maybe. We'll look into that. We're getting a few things made up right now. Jack, what's up, Jack? Good to see you, bro. Poutine, thoughts on NMN, Dave Sinclair, Rogan podcast. I know I'm actually doing some research. I went down the Rogan rabbit hole the last couple of days. Lots of great guests there. I've just been too busy to catch up on. So I was able to catch up on a lot of good, more the health and fitness side is kind of where I really enjoy Joe's stuff. I love the astrophysics and that stuff too. But I really, I'm called towards the health sciences. And that was interesting, really interesting stuff. It's funny. A lot of what Mr. Sinclair had said, Dr. Sinclair had said, perfectly aligns with what we do over here at the Dolce Diet. And that's not me, taking ownership of what Sinclair had said. It's just showing that, when you're focused on what actually works and what is best, and you have your one eye in the science, what everybody else is doing, and the other eye in, analyzing the data of what you're actually doing with earnest, it all kind of fits together. And I actually tweeted that, the Dolce Diet appears to be the Occam's razor of the Joe Rogan podcast guest list from health and fitness. And what does that mean? That means that there's so much overlaps between his guests. And much of the overlap is completely aligned with what we've been doing and saying here since, going back 2 decades now, hardcore, the last decade since I switched everything to longevity science. I started in sports science. I'm in my mid-late 20s. I was 282 pounds, 30% body fat, hypertension, high blood pressure, sleep apnea as a competitive powerlifter, right? Single burst oriented anaerobic athlete. Completely made a change. I was a high school collegiate level wrestler prior to that for nearly 10 years. So I had that in my bank. Later on, I began boxing, amateur boxing, and jiu-jitsu competitions, and then I started fighting, in MMA for a little bit. I've gone through all this. I've gone through all that, and I'm able to take that information and kind of extrapolate that with a focus now on longevity. So much of what the longevity scientists say, we've taken all those pieces that will actually also facilitate your let's say, is doing comes from longevity science. And that's where like a Dr. Rhonda Patrick fits in. It's like her entire ingredient list is what we wrote about in Living Lean 10 years ago. All the foods that Dr. Patrick talks about, which is amazing. Nearly every single thing that she says that she talks about, we have a recipe for it. It's in one of our recipes. That's what our athletes eat. That's what everybody who works with us eats. All the stuff that she's saying is life extending and cancer or fighting or repelling and immunity boosting, cardiac preventative. It's all the Living Lean program. We have 3 weeks of shredded, which is focused on that short term, weight class oriented, get lean, get ripped, sustain muscle tissue, go out there, compete, perform, short term. Then we have the Living Lean program, which is the much longer, longevity based recomposition, lean mass sustainability program. And you can put whatever hat you want onto that. So to answer your question, and then I saw, and that's why I say, so I'm sitting there like Joe was with my notebook, and anytime I'm talking to you guys or anybody or a white belt, let's say, they say something I don't know the answer to, I write that down. And I spend time every day to sit at my computer with my little notebook. And what is that? What is that? Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I did that or whatever. And that's not the NMM or what Sinclair's saying. Just other content that comes through my day. That's how we roll over here. Is that not against freedom of speech? Well, freedom of speech up until a point, and it's up until a point. I'm a huge constitutionalist. Politics, I deplore politics. But First Amendment, absolutely. But I've seen fighters go over the line. There is a line, and freedom of speech, it doesn't mean they're going to go to jail, and that's freedom of speech. Like if you're going to let individual A into your home, and individual A, all they're doing is they're talking about, effing this and mother bleep that, and they're gonna bang ding 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 to that, bad name for a girl over there. And your wife is in the house and her mother and your 3 kids. You're gonna be like, yo, get out, shut your mouth. You don't talk like that around here. Not in my house. And the commissions have the ability to do that. They can set the rules for what's appropriate behavior. That's my point. So I'm open to a conversation about it, but it's a slippery slope of what's actually allowed and what's not allowed, and how is that written so it's clearly communicated to the individuals who are being governed by these rules or this kind of banning on certain types of communication. That's my point. So it's a much deeper conversation. But you wouldn't let people in your house talk like that in front of your family? What are you, crazy? Well, why is that type of talk allowed in open public forums while being a licensed athlete in a state jurisdiction to go out there and participate in these organized athletic endeavors by private corporations? The commitment is publicly funded. It's a government entity, which is by the people, but then the private organizations are running the promotions. So it is a conversation. It's an intellectual conversation. It's very hard to get intellectuals to actually sit down and have a conversation. Coach, you have worked with someone that now thinks have you worked with someone that now thinks I should not have worked? Oh, and I think that I should not have worked with that guy. No, everyone's an experience. And I've had some experiences before, learning experiences. And it's taught me very much about life and business and those individuals that I want around and those individuals that I do not want around myself or my family, which is why I operate the business the way that I do. And I think which is why I'm happy, so happy in the manner that I am. And we live such a full, robust life with no negative energy. It's because of having those experiences where people, and in my experience, it's people who've taken advantage of me. They've taken advantage of my goodwill, of my intent, of my professional services in many ways, because you said work with. They've taken advantage. They didn't bring the same morality or ethical code into the relationship that we did. And it was disappointing more than anything else. But that's been one of my problems. I'm very open-hearted. I want to work with everybody. I want to help with everybody. And I want to do as much as I can. I'm a service-oriented individual. I'm very empathetic because I think I grew up in such a lonely, dark, place, not a destructive place per se, but just a very bleak existence. And for whatever reason, I've internalized that in the manner that I try and help people, maybe so people don't feel lonely and in dark places, and help them achieve whatever goals that they've set for themselves, because goals are hope, essentially, trying to give people hope. And I've been taken advantage of, by, let's say, individual athletes or managers and agents and other coaches that want the limelight, or the headline, or the interview, or the paycheck, or whatever it is. Man, you guys can have it. You can have all that. So would I have not worked with them? Well, maybe I wouldn't work with them in the future, for sure. And the person that I am now, I would see them earlier and I wouldn't work with them, but I don't have no regrets. Tom Snyder, tomorrow is my birthday. For a bit of a treat, I'm going out for 2 pieces of New York cheese pizza. No alcohol or sweets. Is it okay to step off once a year? Tom, absolutely. Good for you. We call that the earned meal. The earned meal, you can set up an earned meal once or twice per month for yourself. No less than every 10 days, we try and say, because if it's every week, it just becomes habitual. Every 10 days or so, once or twice a month. It's your birthday. It's your anniversary. It's your kid's talent show. The football game is on. The Super Bowl is on, or, whatever that is. Yeah, enjoy that. But each time you do it, it becomes more and more normalized from a healthy eating perspective, which means you're not going to go out. I mean, you're eating 2 slices of pizza. There's people out there that are like, 2 slices of pizza, man, I'm going to eat 2 whole pizzas. What's this 2 slice of pizza nonsense? That's a warm up. So it's all relative. Good for you. Happy birthday. Sam is probably on Zig or Tom DeLauer's podcast thinking about keto, and I know, right? Hey, coach, why do I hear contradictory weight loss ideas all the time? Eat in small window, or cut out carbs, or eat every 2 to 4 hours. So confusing. Thanks from Mansfield, England. Because people are trying to sell something. Man, it's all comes down to money, baby. It's all cha-ching. It's all comes down to money. So when you hear all these different ideas being so dogmatically popularized, it's because they lead back to the money. Follow the cash register, right? Or follow the cash. They'll take you back to the cash register. That's where a lot of these dietary practices originate. Now, if there was an intellectual honesty inside the fitness culture, people would say, listen, guys and girls, here's what you got to do. You got to cut out all the synthetic foods. You got to cut out all the processed foods. You got to get that stuff out of your life. You have to start focusing on eating real food in wide variety. You know what? I don't even care about your total calorie or total macro intake right now. Let's just get the poison out of your life. Step 1. Stop poisoning yourself. Let's start eating real food in wide variety, as local and fresh and organic and in season as possible. As minimally processed. Let's not burn it to a crisp. Let's not fry it, until it becomes, fried in lard. Let's try and eat it in its fresh, natural, organic, raw state to the point that we can, so we can extract the maximum amount of nutrition, micro and phytonutrition, at the lowest possible total caloric floor. Earth-grown nutrients, or real food, have more nutrition, more micronutrition per calorie than any other synthetic food on the planet. And it's much more digestible, absorbable, and easily utilized by the human body, because it's recognized more so than all the pills, powders, and potions that are floating around there, the pre-post workouts, the daily vitamin drinks, and the super whatever formulas. Man, that's all money. So if there was an honesty in the fitness industry, people would say, guys and girls, listen, you need to start eating real food all day long, real food in wide variety. You can skew towards lower carb. You can skew towards higher carb. Most vegans are very high carb, right? How many overweight vegans do you really see? True. You see none. You see none. How many vegans die of heart attacks? Like none. How many vegans typically get cancer? Low. I'm not saying it's the perfect thing, but lower than the traditional American diet, toxic processed food eater, right? And that's what we're talking about. 2 out of 3 Americans will die of lifestyle-related illness due to the decisions they make at the food table, and in whether or not they should put on their running shoes and get good 8 hours of sleep per night. That's why, kind of in a big nutshell, that's why you hear so many differences. Instead of people just being, hey, stop, idiot, just start eating with common sense, all right? Have some oats and an apple for breakfast, or some fresh berries. Like have an orange and some cashews as a snack. Have a little piece of fish and some spinach and a little baked potato on the side for lunch. Have a piece of meat, 4 ounces of a fillet, or you can even make it at home and pack it into a little burger with some ketchup and relish and tomato and pickle on some sprouted grain bread, lightly toasted with the crust cut off. and take a baked potato, throw it in the oven, chop it into little French fries, throw it in the oven, 20 minutes, 40 or 400 degrees for 20 minutes. And there you go. Then you have sweet potato fries and a burger. Eat like that every day. Watch what happens. Let's start getting our green vegetables in, 4 times a day, 2, 3, 4 times a day. Let's start getting wide multicolored vegetables in 2, 3, 4 times a day. Let's start getting fresh fruit in 2, 3, 4 times a day. Let's get a little bit of wild caught protein, a few ounces per day. Let's start doing that stuff. Let's eat a wide variety of beans and nuts and seeds. And I said the greens and the colors and all that. Let's get wide variety. That's why when we say wide variety, that's what we're talking about. Wide variety. I want a little bit of everything. A little bit of every. Let's just say that. Doesn't that make sense? But you get these freaking people running around like the keto carnivore people, and I'm just begging on them because they're the most popular. When the paleo was the one, I was begging on them. When the macros were the one, I was begging on them. Whatever is the fancy of the day, I'm going to tell the truth by comparison to an ordered diet of real food. And if anybody out there is a keto head, if you're a keto expert, if you're the carnivore people, if that's what you want to do, you want to have a wide open, robust conversation with me, let's do it. But I've reached out to nearly every in those industries, and I don't have anybody who wants to have a honest, robust conversation with me in public, and I don't know why. I mean, I think I do know why, because I ask a lot of hard questions, or actually a lot of easy questions that are hard for them to handle without sounding like they're shilling. And that's the problem. So what's best for most people most of the time? Let's talk about that, because that's most of you, right? I don't know how many 12-year-old epileptics are listening right now or reading Yahoo News or perusing the fitness sphere. But a lot of the super low carbers, they point to those studies of the 12-year-old epileptic and the reduction on their seizures, the reversal of some of the symptoms. Okay, that's good to know. That's good and valid to know. Thank you. What does that have to do with the vast majority of the population? And why should the vast majority of the population be able to eat an entire bucket of pigskin fried in lard? That's right, pork rinds, pigskin fried in lard. And this is from Men's Fitness. Men's Fitness magazine put out has an article on it. Top 10 keto-friendly snacks. Pork rinds, pigskin fried in lard with synthetic chemicals added for preservatives and all that fun stuff. Or blueberries, a cup of blueberries. A cup of blueberries is bad because it's 20 grams of carbohydrates. 20 grams of carbohydrates. It's very rare that you'll actually achieve ketosis, knowing that you have to take another 10, 15, 20 or more grams of carbohydrates just because you need a little bit of something in your day, a little couple pieces of broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, whatever else might kind of creep in on the side. And then people will say, well, that's not true, because you can eat blueberries on keto. Look, this website or the ebook that I bought, they have a photo of blueberries saying it's allowed. Whoa. But it's like a few ounces once or twice a week, and they conflate the issue to fit you into their box, which is just selling the exclusionary fad diet program. And again, I'm not intentionally just bashing on keto. I do it to all these exclusionary fad diets that come in and out, instead of the professionals using their platform in a manner to truly educate the population on how to feed themselves forever. I know it's a terrible business model. It's worked well for me. Terrible business model. Uh-oh. You know the rule. When the wife calls, you answer. Hey. Okay, I'm doing a live right now. YouTube live. I think she hung up on me. Uh-oh. So that was a good time. Good break. But pro tip right here for those listening, those still with me, when your significant other calls, you answer it. You're not too cool. I don't care what you do. I'm here talking to you guys, putting out content, baby, live. Wife calls, I answer the phone. I answer the phone. I'm not too cool. I don't pretend to be too cool. You're not too cool. Your significant other, someone important in your life, calls you. You answer the darn phone. That's the rule. Paul, hey, coach. I answer that. Nav, thanks for answering my question on fasting. Do you believe in using a chest heart rate monitor for training? Time and place. I used to do that quite a bit, but not so much anymore. But yeah, it's good to be aware of, especially when you're in the beginner to intermediate phase of your training. You should. What's up, Richard? Greg, is drinking coffee every day bad? Depends on the individual. Likely no, but it depends on the individual. John, I'm currently bulky right now intuitively. For example, I would do simple things like add a boiled egg to each meal or use heavy cream in coffee. Is that a good approach? Yeah, Actually, so you're bumping your total calories up a couple hundred per day. Yeah, I think that works. Just be conscious of quality calories that you're adding. My man, Coach, what is your advice to be more flexible legs and back for bridges and middle split? Just time, 15 to 30 minutes per day, probably split into 2 training sessions where you focus directly on mobility in addition to your full training. Ricardo, Sam Calvita is MIA. Yeah, what's up with it? Where is he? I'm trying to get him on. Edward, thoughts on TJ's weight cut and his trainer, Sam Calvita, and his methodology and process for weight cutting. Could you potentially learn from him or partner up? Seems to know a lot. I don't know, Sam. I want to have a conversation and shop talk for you guys to listen to, where he and I can sit there. We can talk about it inside and out. I'd love to have that conversation. I'm trying to get in touch with him. So, Sam, let me know thoughts on TJ's weight cut, man. TJ may weight. He looked ripped. He looked shredded. I did a podcast a YouTube video on TJ's weight cuts and my thought. I think personally, due to every athlete is competing at a detriment due to cutting weight. There's no getting around that. That's the truth. What the job is as the coach and the athlete is to try and mitigate the downside of the weight cut to the best of your ability. And that's very difficult to do. So by TJ cutting to 135, he was at a disadvantage from his true self, his 100%. Him going down additionally to 125, he is at a greater disadvantage. That doesn't mean he's not a great athlete. That doesn't mean he was unable to win or could not win that fight. It means he was putting more challenges and disadvantages in front of him in order to go out there and compete. That's what that means. And I don't think very, very challenging on many levels. I mean, probably more so emotionally than physiologically, but challenging nonetheless. And what I did on a recent YouTube video, guys, go through after this show, go through, check it out. And I say, I think TJ's weight cut. I give it a very honest, evidence-based reaction to TJ's weight cut and what some of the potential downsides were that are clearly studied and known and agreed upon with regard to dehydration and rapid weight loss and rehydration. Because rapid rehydration, and rapid would be within 36 hours for sure. There's a negative impact of rapid rehydration. There's positive, but there's some negatives also. And that negative does show up with visuospatial awareness, reaction time, if you will. And then we can also talk about the cerebral spinal fluid and the impact of dehydration, rehydration, because that has a very negative impact on the sensitivity to the brain and the higher probability of concussive events that could lead to knockouts. The rehydration of the brain fluid, the rehydration by that squeezing down and filling back up, that period of time, that window offers a higher percentage of negative impact to combat sports. So go check out that video. Thoughts, Mikey with Victor Conte. Your thoughts? Who's Mikey? Victor Conte, I think his reputation precedes him. Andres, hey coach, I'm new to the channel, and I love boxing MMA. Do you have any tips on reaching out to fighters coaches for quick interviews? Andres, Instagram seems to be the best way. Just hit them up. Most coaches I know are super happy to do interviews. Just be respectful of their time, be prepared, be ready to roll when they click on, because it's busy. But I'd say a 15 to 30 minute on-air interview is great. Don't ask anyone to write to answer questions written. That's no way. It's better to just ask them the questions and then pay someone $1 a minute to transcribe it. You can go online right now and get all of your online work, your audio work, transcribed for $1 a minute. 15-minute interview, 30-minute interview. You're spending $15-$30 to get the entire thing written out. That's good content. Javier, what's up, man? Caleb, thanks for the free advice, coach. What are your thoughts on stevia as a sweetener? I'm not a big fan of stevia simply because I think it tastes a little gross. And a lot of the stevia out there is paired with synthetic chemicals that we avoid. There's lots of the shell game going on in the health and fitness field. No salt, no sugar, no red meat. No salt, no sugar, no red meat. I wouldn't agree with that. For what? That sounds bad. Rick, and then 5 grams of L-arginine with coffee. Okay, I understand that. Tom Day, how much Pedialyte should I drink after a 9-pound cut? None. Read Pedialyte. Pedialyte was meant to be consumed by the tablespoon, not by the quart. It's so crazy. Why is Pedialyte purple? Why is Pedialyte pink or orange? Why is Pedialyte neon? Why are you putting neon synthetic chemicals into your body? Have you ever thought about that? under the guise of being healthy. But pedia is electrolytes. Is it though? Is it really? What else is it? What else is it? Do you know about sucralose? Do you know what sucralose does to digestion? So at your most vulnerable state, you are consuming an ingredient that is known and proven to disrupt digestion and lead to poor absorption of whatever nutrients might be coming in after that or at the same time. You ever think about that? How about just a little bit of sea salt, some fresh squeezed lemon, and maybe some raw honey mixed up in purified water? How about that? How about that? Zach, would you get pissed off if your old lady hired a male personal trainer? No. I don't know why. Nah, that means nabs. Come on, man. Be enlightened. I mean, I would be, I would yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. It's just like, would she be mad at me if I had a conversation with a girl? Like, no, of course not. You know, it's the character of the individual. That's all that matters. The quality of a human is all that matters. Like, am I gonna let her work with if Harvey Weinstein was a personal trainer? No, of course not. Or if one of these female low integrity individuals, no, I wouldn't let her be around that. Also, not let her, but I wouldn't be happy or suggest it as she may. So it's the quality of the person that matters. Zeke, no way Smith beats Jones. His poor ground game, John Jones will expose. He'll kick his head. I mean, that's one of the things about John Jones. And I said, I actually did a podcast. We'll see. And Anthony Smith has something to say about that. But go and check my interview with Mark Montoya on the YouTube channel. I'm going to try, and because we're at 57 minutes. And man, there's more questions. Let me try and rapid fire through this stuff for you guys. That's an hour. That's a long time. It's a long time of free content. People, give me a thumbs. I got 0 thumbs up. Maybe it's just not showing up because there was a little glitch earlier. But give me a thumbs up if you like this stuff. I appreciate you guys, and I love giving you the time and helping in whatever way, shape, or form I can. Let's try and answer the rest. Is Victor Conte? All right, I scrolled too fast. Sorry, guys. This is better. This is better. Lots of questions about Sam Calavita. Happy to get him on the show. If you know Sam, tell him I'd love to chat with him. Big show, big platform, man. It'd be a fun conversation. I have been working. I had Dwayne Ludwig on here. I got Mark Montoya on here. I got Ashley Borden coming up on Monday. Ashley is amazing. One of the most in-demand celebrity trainers on the planet. Ashley Borden. She trains out of L.A., Southern California. Works with Christina Aguilera and Rumor Willis and Ryan Gosling and some of the top. She's on Revenge Body, season 2 of Revenge Body. That's the Kardashian film, and Ashley's awesome. So she'll be on Monday with lots of great takeaways. I've been working beets and watermelon in my diet lately, both good sources of citrulline. I have noticed a difference. Good for you. Caleb, thoughts on free advice, coach? Thanks for the free advice. What are your thoughts on stevia? I answered that. Javier, what's up, Javier? Good to see you. MDD, is it better to do the main workout in the morning or evening? I like midday between 11 and 3. Thomas, what's up? Marilyn, what's up, Coach Marilyn Dixon? Yo, Uncle Mike, I think you should do live chats with Dr. Rhonda Patrick. I would love to. I'd love to reach out to Dr. Patrick. I know she's super busy, but it'd be cool to get her on the show too. I love her work and what she does. I want to have a sauna conversation with her, actually. I wonder if Francis Ngannou found somebody to pack his lunch for him. Tom Day, 198 when I hit the treadmill for an hour, just speed walk for an hour, went down to 191.8. Wow, dropped to 189 in the sauna, total 9 pounds in about an hour and 40 minutes. 1 liter Pedialyte enough. I wouldn't drink Pedialyte. I would go purified water, sea salt, fresh squeezed lemon or lime, maybe a little bit of raw honey, and I'd start chomping on some fresh fruit, berries, grapes, things like that. Thomas Ebbett, that's why Max fired Lockhart. He was helping Khabib lose weight as well as Max. That's why Khabib fired Lockhart, is because they were double dipping. The messages I have on this phone, if you guys knew the truth, and I'm not the dude. I'm not that dude to go out there and spread it. But let's just say I know why he got fired. They got fired multiple times. That's why I use the term zero integrity. That's because it sticks. Ichivera, How should one go about refeeds? I've gone from 215 to 195 recently, probably about 15% body fat. I don't know, anywhere between once every 3 to 10 days, depending on what you're doing. Sounds like you're eating well. You're making great progress. Let's focus on building some lean muscle tissue in there. That would be a focus. Have you gotten your blood work done? Go get your blood work done. Make sure everything's operating as it should. Very important. A lot of people don't do that. Let's get that done. Ichivera, thanks for all the free help. Mike, you got it. Richard, you gave Gaslam a 6-pack. He hasn't had one since. I appreciate that. I was very happy of the results that we had while working with Kevin Gaslam on his drop down, his initial drop to 170. We masterminded that with him, and we did an amazing job. He was out there to make weight, look great, was shredded. I mean, shredded, the best he's probably ever looked on the scale. And then he got a performance of the night bonus for his finish of Brian Melanson. Jose, I've been thinking about getting Living Lean, but after I finish it, what would be the next step? You live lean forever. So if you buy the copy of Living Lean, #1 international bestseller, Living Lean, if you get a copy of that, that's just what you do forever. You don't have to make any change. That's just the life that you live from then on. If you want to, you can go to thedolcediet.com and you can join the 4-week or 12-week online diet and exercise program, completely personalized for you. It's on your phone, tablet, laptop. So you can get the 4 weeks or 3 weeks of shredded, or the 12 weeks of Living Lean plus 3 weeks of shredded. Everything's personalized for you. You don't have to even think about it. Everything's there specifically to you based upon your input. We have a bunch of questions that you have to answer, telling us exactly about yourself, and your system is personalized for you specifically, for your background, for your lifestyle, for your goals, for where you're starting from, knowing where we're gonna take you forward. And we have goals actually that you have to put in. Every time you tell us your goal, there's 6 different goal categories plus 1 bonus. We even further are able to develop the system, personalize it for you. That's all at thedolcediet.com. If you don't know what to do, if you really want to start making progress, that's the way. That's the way. That's why we built it for you guys. Adam, boom. Richard, Ricardo, how do I start with cooking your own food? No fast food, exactly. Boss, good morning from Melbourne. Coach, grinding up today at 5 a.m. Got gigs till midnight today. We're earning that extra dough. Good for you on that grind, homie. Make sure you take 5 minutes every so often to just go outside, stare at the sky, and breathe. I just count backwards from 300. That's what I just try and do. Breathe. Think about nothing else, just counting backwards. That helps a lot. Joe Connon. How do I balance martial arts and lifting? 3 and 3 days of each, and kind of skew towards what you need most. Andre, hello, what's up, Andre Werber? Mike, good to see you. You're the real deal, unlike Kinobody and Brandon Carter, LOL. I appreciate that. Well, I'm a real coach. I think that's the difference. I'm not mad at those guys. Their personalities. I get that. They got good looks. They got good channels. They got some information that they can share with certain members of the people. But I'm a world-class coach with world-class athletes. We got Olympic and Olympic medals and world titles, NCAA, champions. For over 20 years, we've been doing it consistently. For over 20 years. So it's just a different level of class. No disrespect to them, but I would put them in a blue belt category when it comes to coaches. They're not training professional athletes. They're not training collegiate athletes. They're not doing it with consistency. That's the difference. They can probably help the high school athlete. They can help the novice to beginner. They're not helping intermediate to advanced. And that's where a coach like me comes through, because I'm clearly a black belt. Humble brag right there. But I'm not mad at their channel. They're helping people get healthy. Right. They're helping hopefully steer people towards a healthy and fitness lifestyle. And I don't know their content. I don't know their content for sure. I just see every so often. Usually I learn about them when people are roasting them. Fair or not, I don't have an opinion on that. But that's usually shows that they have a large audience when people are talking smack. What's up, Tronde, Andre? Mikhail, Uncle Mike, is it bad to drink over 5 cups of tea a day? Does tea give some health performance benefits working, for example? Over 5 cups a day, I don't know. I don't know you specifically. Now, is it caffeinated tea 5 times per day? Is it uncaffeinated? Are you having 2 cups of chamomile tea, a cup of black tea, and maybe 2 cups of a green tea? I don't think that's bad. I drink certainly more than that. I typically have 2 to 3 cups of green tea per day, 1 cup of black tea per day, 2 to 4 cups of chamomile tea at night. I'll drink 2 to 4 cups of coffee, whether it's coffee or caffeine in your espresso in a given day. I drink 2 gallons of water. I'm constantly drinking. I probably drink 3 gallons total of fluids throughout the day. But it's always fresh brewed teas or black coffee. Hour 4 of this Q&A. It's supposed to be 20 minutes, and here we are still going. Jay, I'm trying to answer every question for you guys. Every question. That's my goal. I try and get through every question. Jay Perez, Mike, you ever try caffeine or coffee post-workout? I'm not a fan. It's just the stomach is typically unable to accept the acidity of coffee post-workout. That's been my experience. Yo, Uncle Mike, is it bad? I answered that. Answered that. Mikey Garcia. I believe Conte and Snack, his company, I believe they sponsor athletes with the relationship. So it seems a little marketing too. I think what Victor does is he gives them help. He supports them on the financial side in different ways. It might not be a straight cash exchange, but I believe that there is a benefit to being an athlete who's working with them. And then of course they give whatever counseling that they do have available. I don't think at this stage of his career, Conte's doing anything untoward or illegal, though he has a background having done that. That's how we know his name for some untoward activities. I don't think he's doing that at this stage of his career. I just think he's keeping his brand running. I think it's a supplement brand. Yo, Mike, can you give us any tips or tricks on drinking a gallon of water a day? I can't go more than 4 days. It's so hard. Right here. That's how you do it. You just keep a gallon. You just keep a gallon near you. I got one there, but it's empty. See? That's how you do it. Everywhere I go, I got water. It's easy. That's how you do it. And I just drink and I 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 drink. And there you go. It just becomes a habit. It's like breathing. I don't get mad about the breathing. Jay Perez, Mike, caffeine post-workout along with carbs is supposed to. Oh my God, here we go. It's supposed to send over 60% more glycogen to the muscle than not using caffeine post-workout. Good idea to consume this or bad. Where'd you hear that? Where'd you hear that? Where'd you hear that? I think I have an idea because I've heard this trickle through. What we can show in a petri dish does not mean it's ideal for regular life. Have you ever drank caffeine post-workout in some sort of crappy carbohydrate powder? Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? Yeah. Let's just start there. Let's just start at the freaking grossness of it and then go and have a meal after that. Who wants to be that one? I'm not sitting in a warm car with you. Tronde, what's up? X200 for people interested in researching for some time now. Yeah, I don't want you. Sorry. Don't come on here selling other diet programs. You don't be spammy. No spammy, please. Add content, that's sure, but just don't be spammy. Hello from Manchester. What's up, Mank? Driving in Hollywood right now. Darty, what do you think of carrot juice? I love carrot juice. Ooh, it's one of my favorites. Ricardo, Frank Nash, good stuff. Thank you. Thumbs are not showing. Thumbs are not showing. All right, cool. I appreciate that. Darty, what do you think of Hodge twins? Do they give good advice about lifting and training? Excuse me. I watched the Hodge twins years ago. And they had they're funny, man. They're entertaining. I kind of like their content. I don't agree with the way they go about everything, but I'm not the boss of them. They have an entertaining channel. They built a massive audience. They have good communication skills, right? They're able to drive their message out. I think they flip-flop quite a bit from a fitness perspective, but they're blue belts. And I say that with respect. They're not black belts of fitness. They're not, standing there at the head of the class, able to teach world-class athletes, other black belts in their own right, and NCAA, All-Americans and champions, Olympic, competitors and champions, they can't sustain that type of educational outreach. And that's not them. It's most on the YouTube. Most of the YouTube fitness community, well, they're not world-class coaches of world-class athletes. They've built good channels with consistent advice. I don't know if I'll say quality, because then that's lumping everybody into it, because there's some great YouTube coaches out there. But usually the better YouTube coach out there has experience, like Johnny Candido. I watched Johnny's channel years ago, but Johnny was a national level, I believe national level competitor and placer in drug-free competition. He was a younger man. I'm probably 15 years older than he is. Some great content out there. So he's another, and I don't know if he's still active with his channel right now. I don't think so. Blah, 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 blah. What's up, Travis? Nutri, best split for losing body fat while keeping muscle mass: 3-day full body, 2 upper, lower. Love your opinion on that. Yeah, but you got to, it's not, so your resistance training 3 days a week, full body, that's fine. Go ham, go hard, train high intensity. But let's get some work in on the off days. Let's get some low intensity, steady state cardiovascular activity. I want you walking 30 to 60 minutes a day, Monday. I mean, 5 to 6 days per week with a longer hike, maybe on Sunday. And I'd love to see you doing something a little more intense, getting on the bike, going for a 20 to 30 minute like hard cycle around your town, maybe getting on the rower for 1 minute on, 1 minute off, or a versa climb, or going for some hikes in your backyard, or going to the local park and doing some like bench hops over the picnic table on your days off from resistance training. Still get that body moving. Frank Nash, Richest Man in Babylon, is a free book on YouTube. Oh, very cool. Jay Perez, Zero Integrity. George mentioned it. I think he mentioned mixing coffee with a fruit smoothie. Of course he did. Of course he did. You want to talk about the epitome of ridiculousness. That's that person. And that person has the worst record of any weight loss system I've ever come across. The worst record with regards to their athlete being missing weight, being pulled from cards, and even being hospitalized. I know of no other in the history of MMA. I know of no other team that has a worse record. How about that? How about that? So any advice that they give, I'm just gonna put my earmuffs on and not even listen. What do you think about putting 50 pounds of vegetables through a juicer a week? I think that you can come to my house, do that for me, but then you got to clean it up. Thank you very much. Tumo, Dolce, so 1 gallon a day, every day for normal, active, healthy people. Well, that's what I do. That's what I found to work best. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to do, but I'm drinking over 2 gallons a day. My wife drinks over 1 gallon a day herself. My wife is drinking more water than you? What's up? Das, boss. Did you get the photos I sent a while ago on Insta, Coach? Can't thank you enough. I've been living good because of you. Boss, I didn't get those. I actually looked. Boss Avery, everybody. I posted his before and afters a few months back. Whew, crushed it. Crushed 3 weeks of shredded. But boss, if you could shoot me those messages again. I checked on Insta. They didn't pop up. Let me know. Nutri. Doing that shadow boxing mobility, walking 3 days a week and 3 days a week. That's awesome. Jay Perez, nice. Thanks for the clarification. You got it. Tomo, thank you. All right, guys and girls, boom. Time is done. That's it. A minute or an hour and 11 minutes. Yikes. We don't get a lot of replays because these are so long videos. So these are for you, the people who come on. I come on here to answer your questions. I know that the longer the video, the less people actually watch. But those who did come on and stay and watch, you are absolutely awesome. I appreciate you being here. If anybody wants to timestamp the video to help other people, like whatever I answered, kind of, put that on a timestamp, I will pin it to the top and thank you very much. That will be awesome. I think that's it. So it's Friday. Let's keep it up. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep moving. Let's get focused on our goals. Just because it's the weekend doesn't mean it's time to go out there and poison yourself, right? Don't go out there and poison yourself just because it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't mean it's time to relax. It means it's time to pick up the pace. Every day we should be better. Every day we must do better today than yesterday, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, doesn't matter. I must do better today than I did yesterday, and the same thing tomorrow and the next day and the next day. That's the way we look at it. Perpetual results, perpetual improvements. And I know that you guys can do that. So check out the other videos on this YouTube channel, which I've referenced before. Just click on our videos and just go through a quick search, see what's there. We got lots of great content. And then also check out the Mike Dolce Show podcast on iTunes. Subscribe to that. It's awesome. It's every Monday and Thursday. We have great new episodes out, and we have a few bonus episodes that will drop in throughout the week. So subscribe so you're notified when it comes through. We have Mark Montoya, head coach, MMA coach of Anthony Smith, who's set to fight John Jones March 2nd. And Montoya actually breaks down how they're going to beat John Jones, which is interesting. On Monday, we have Ashley Borden, celebrity trainer, on Revenge Body with Khloe Kardashian and many of the other Gunnar Peterson, many of the other top coaches out there. But she's so much more than that. She has over 40,000 hours as a professional coach, on the books as a professional coach, one of the most in-demand Hollywood celebrity trainers in her own right, working with the likes of Christina Aguilera and Ryan Gosling. And she talks about the difference in training the elite versus training the regular, and how there's no difference at all, and how she manages her crazy busy life. And you should see the shape she's in. Ashley Borden will be on Monday. I'll be dropping videos every day, new video every day, Monday through Sunday, every day on YouTube. And I appreciate you guys being here. If you have any comments, leave them below. If you have any questions, leave them below after this video post. I will do my best to answer each and every one. And until next time, boom.